A former U.S. intelligence official has cast doubt over prospects of China actively seeking to help revive talks to tackle North Korea's nuclear weapons ambitions. Our senior correspondent Oh Soo-young covers his thoughts.
Will China help revive America's diplomacy with North Korea? Ahead of President Donald Trump's meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, former senior U.S. intelligence official Sydney Seiler says expectations should remain low.
When we tried to work with China to bring North Korea back to the table in 2013 and 2014, it was extremely difficult. And, you know, to the degree that we knew the Chinese were actually engaging North Korea, North Korea was giving them the hand, we're not interested, we're not going to come back to the table. There was really little that China could do to advance our interests of resuming negotiations that didn't, impact their own interests negatively.
Seiler says Beijing has gradually shifted from passive inaction to what he calls aggressive unhelpfulness, particularly on enforcing global sanctions against the North's nuclear and missile development. Pyongyang's growing military ties with Moscow has also reduced incentive to talk with Washington.
Now he's got a model with Russia that I think he'll replicate across countries that are willing to, one, stop talking about denuclearization, two, stop enforcing sanctions, and three, stop following the lead of the United States. A three-part demand made repeatedly to the Moon Jae-in government in 2018 and in 2019.
Seiler also addressed concerns over Seoul-Washington coordination after reports that the U.S. had partially limited intelligence sharing on North Korean nuclear sites, following Unification Minister Chung Dong-young's public reference to a suspected uranium enrichment facility.
I think the relationship is good. I think, we sit down on a regular basis and we look at North Korea, we look at the threat, we look at what it's doing, how it's training, what it's saying. And so I'm not really concerned about a gap.
In fact, he suggested trust remains solid as the two allies discuss more sensitive areas of cooperation, including nuclear-powered submarines, uranium enrichment, and spent fuel reprocessing.
I do believe that President Trump's positive response to Xi Jinping's request for a nuclear-powered submarine, for example, demonstrates where the president's thinking is on the Republic of Korea as a trustworthy strategic partner. It's a major exporter of nuclear technologies, and it's a leading, state-of-the-art country in terms of the nuclear industry, a natural partner for the United States. So it would make sense that this lays the groundwork for increasing that type of cooperation going forward.
The alliance having adapted to changing security threats over decades, Seiler says Seoul and Washington should remain confident in their ability to continue coordinating closely going forward. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.